Hey, what's up everybody? Coach Kyle here, and I'm in Houston, Texas. A few days after the 2017 Deadwood half marathon, and I wanted to give you guys a quick race recap. I'll start with a short version, and then I'll go into a longer version. So short version start. I ran a 1:24:07 for the half. This is 50 seconds slower than I had hoped, because it's about 50 seconds off my PR, which I hope to best, and I didn't quite make it, but I have a good reason, and that was because I PR'd a 5K the day before the half marathon. So I ran under 18 minutes for the first time, and that felt really good. It felt good to do that. It was the fast 5K the day before, the afternoon before the half marathon. So it was hot, it was headwindy, it was on gravel, and it was a net downhill. So I consider it pretty even, because yeah, if it was a paved downhill in the morning, yeah, it would have been super fast. But it was a net downhill, but it was on gravel. It was like 75 degrees, and there was a headwind. So I consider it even. I ran 18:30 something a couple months prior, solo in the heat. So with this having a little competition, and being tapered and peaked for the half, felt good. So PR'd on Saturday, did the half marathon on Sunday. I hurt a lot more during the half than I expected to from the 5K. I went into the 5K knowing that if I was checking my splits and I wasn't on pace to PR, I would jog it in. But mile 1, mile 2, I was on pace to PR. I had people ahead of me to chase, so I went for it and I got that PR. So Sunday's half was very difficult. The warm-up, I could tell that I was still really sore. Every step of the half was with a little bit of delayed onset muscle soreness. And for the first 6 or so, my left hamstring was not good. Like, it was tight. It wasn't quite cramping, but it wasn't firing 100% as it should. Thankfully, after about halfway, that started to feel fine. So then I just had to deal with the regular delayed onset muscle soreness, DOMS, and I ran as hard as I could. I was really close to PR pace throughout the event, but it was just like 50 seconds is like 3 seconds per mile slower than goal pace. So I was very close, and I consider this even though I didn't hit my goal, I consider it a super well done event, because like I said, PR'd the day before, ran as hard as I could for 3.1 miles, and being able to run 50 seconds off my goal PR on sore legs is a super good sign that I was ready to PR during the half. I took the PR during the 5K, so that's what it is. I couldn't quite squeak out 2 PRs over the weekend, but it was good. I'm happy with it. Okay, slightly longer race report. So I went to Deadwood on Friday. I volunteered at the expo for 4 hours in the evening, and then stayed the night at the lodge in Deadwood. Great place, highly recommend it. That's where the expo is. Great food, breakfast, pool, hot tub, etc. Saturday, I volunteered in the morning. It was nice to just wake up, walk down, have breakfast, get some coaching done, go to the expo, volunteer. Then at noon, I got into my running gear, hopped on the bus. I drove down to Deadwood. It's like a 2-mile drive. I drove down to the finish of the 5K, so then they bus you 3.1 miles up to the start of the 5K. Did that. It was hot. It was like a 1:30 start. One thing is that they drop you off and then they don't really tell you what to do. Most people got up on the Mickelson Trail, and then some of us went and did a little warm-up, And some of us, including me, were still warming up on the gravel road when they started the race. So my chip time is 18:07, but I didn't actually start with everybody. So my watch has had a 17:57, so I'm going to take that, because I actually had to crawl up through the ditch onto the Mickelson Trail, and then I ran through a few people to get, and so the leaders were gone. I missed them. So that was kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. I was told that by somebody that did that event previously that sometimes he's had 5 minutes and he's had 20 minutes to warm up, so whatever. But ran back to town, got my 5K PR, super happy about that. Met my parents. They came to Rapid City for the weekend to see me and my wife before we go to Chile. Went back to hung out with them downtown, Deadwood. Lots of walking area, whatnot. Went to a pre-race social. That was really fun. Free beer, free appetizers. Can't beat that. Let's see. Went back to the lodge. Hung out with my wife. Took an ice bath. Had some chocolate milk. Kind of just hung out Saturday night. Sunday morning. The nice thing about staying at the lodge is that they have buses that take you from the lodge right to the start of the half and full marathon. So anywhere else, I'd either have to take a shuttle to the bus location in Deadwood, or drive to the bus location in Deadwood, which then takes people to the starts. But at the lodge, there's 4 buses just there, and our bus driver was the father of the race director for the Leadville 100, so that was really cool. He was a funny guy. So super handy to just walk out of my hotel at like 6, get on the bus, and then they took us right out there. I had a drop bag with me, which I left at the start, and that just had a jacket and a few munchies that I brought with to have during the bus trip. Let's see. The Mickelson Trail is a rails to trails course, so it's typically very flat. I tell people, like I was the info desk at the expo, and I told people that if you were blindfolded, you wouldn't be able to tell if you were running up or downhill for most of the course because it's so gradual. The full goes up for a while and then back down to Deadwood. The half just pretty much goes straight down to Deadwood. It's gravel, which does slow you. I remember it feels nice early on, but after a while, I just kind of get sick of running at speed on gravel. So it does slow you, but it's a downhill course, so I consider it fair. If it was paved downhill like this, it would be super fast. If it was flat but gravel, it would be a slower course. So I consider it a fair course. The half starts with a little elevation gain for a mile maybe, and then it's downhill until about halfway, and then it's a little climb, and then it's downhill back into Deadwood. It's shaded off and on. You're within trees for a good chunk of the course, so those sections are shaded. In general, I would say it's in the morning for the half. It's a cool race. The marathon does get very warm. I would never do this marathon course. It's not the easiest because the first half or so is uphill, and it's not like an undulating course. It's straight uphill for a number of miles. And then I would say after I finished the half, it was into the 70s and probably into the 80s. So it got warm for some of the 2+ hour half marathoners, and especially some of the average 4.5 hour marathoners. So it would be a challenging course to do that on gravel, especially. So kudos to everybody that did that. 300 for the full, 2,000 for the half, roughly, sign up limits. So let's see. So I warmed up with some friends, ran a mile or two in the morning, Felt like I had delayed onset muscle soreness. Just, you know, it is what it is, and told myself I would run as fast as I could and see what happens. And that's what I did, and I just felt fine throughout the run. My legs were sore. My left hamstring was not firing quite properly. I wouldn't say it was cramping, but it just wasn't I couldn't get much power out of it. That kind of worked itself out around halfway, but like I said, I was pretty much on pace for the bulk of the event. I ran at a moderately hard effort for the first 7 miles. I sped up a little bit until mile 10, and then ran as hard as I could for the last 3, and I got within 50 seconds, so it was pretty close, and I'm really happy with that run for how I felt. And for the PR the day before, that was a best effort run for the 5K on Saturday, and I'm super pleased with running just 50 seconds off my goal on Sunday. So that's my race report. Gear that I used, I wore my BOA short shorts, the Cosmic shorts for the half. I had my Everything Hurts and I'm Dying Run It, my Red It top for the half. The 5K I wore Tracksmith shorts and a singlet, Solis watches, and Gingy socks, Scora shoes. Let's see, pre-race for the nutrition, I ate a macro bar right before getting on the bus, and then I had a Science and Sport SIS, S-I-S, gel, isotonic gel. So it's a little bigger than a regular gel, but it doesn't require any water because it's 100 calories, and it's a liquid. It's way more liquid than it is gel. So I just squirted that into my mouth right before the start. Let's see, in between those two I had a honey stinger waffle. So that was my race morning. I didn't take in anything during the race. Felt fine. I paced appropriately. I didn't need any hydration or calories during the run. So yeah, it was, like I said, I'm pleased with it. It went well, and I will definitely do it again. So now my summer, I'm in Houston right now, drove down here. My wife and I are flying to Chile this weekend. We'll be there for 50 days, and then we're driving back. So I'll be back at the end of July. I plan on tentatively doing I think it's the last half of September is the Sioux Falls half, and then it is the Crazy Horse half at the beginning of October, and then the Good Life half in Lincoln, Nebraska at the end of October. So it's like Sioux Falls, September 20th or whatever. Crazy Horse, very close to Deadwood, western South Dakota. It's on the Mickelson. It's on a different section of the Mickelson. That's October 5th, I don't know. And then the Good Life Half C is October 29th in Lincoln, Nebraska. So Sioux Falls will be like a tune-up race. I will peak for Crazy Horse, and then recover and re-peak for the Good Life Half C. Because the Good Life Half C is about 3-4 weeks after Crazy Horse. Sioux Falls is 2 to 3 weeks before Crazy Horse, and it could be super hot at Sioux Falls, and I'll probably just see how it goes. Like I did at Fargo previously. I ran Fargo. I ran a 125 at Fargo, and I told myself that if I was going to run under like a 126, 127 at Fargo, I was just going to jog it in. But I had a good run that day. I felt comfortable that day, so it wasn't quite the best effort run, but it was pretty close. And I ran hard there, did well. And then I ran 1 second off my PR a few weeks later. So I'll probably repeat that. Whereas I'll do Sioux Falls. If Sioux Falls isn't going to be a PR, if I get to mile 7, mile 10, and it's just not going to happen, I'll jog it in, maybe. And then I have enough time between the races where I could run them at 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10, and recover. So do Sioux Falls, Crazy Horse, and then the Half C. So I'm going to take a period of rest this week and the next couple weeks. We get settled into Santiago, Chile, the 16th, I think, of June. And from there, I'll just train, get back up to my mileage. I ran 2 months at 80 miles per week. And I ran 2 months at 80 miles per week before Deadwood. If I could do 2 to 3 months at 80 miles per week again, then hopefully that hits me with a PR this fall. So here goes nothing.